I got to tell you, yesterday was like one of those really weird days. You're figuring, okay, both the Mets and the Yankees are coming out of this. They don't look great going into the second half. I mean, they're flying. The Mets are ready to take 3 out of 4 from the Pirates. They should take 4 out of 4 from the Pirates. Why can't they ever win a doubleheader, for God's sake? It's only 7 innings per game, but God almighty. And then, of course, you have the Yankee meltdown. And I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It was just remarkable that both teams had happened to them what happened to them. And this guy, was it Rodolfo Castro, who doesn't hit anything but home runs? And he's killed the Mets this weekend. Yeah. And, it's baseball, Susan, as they say, because Chad Green has been great for the Yankees. And I don't see why, Aaron Boone would have taken out Domingo Germán. There's no reason to take him out of the game. And then you bring Chad Green in, figuring, okay, he's been really the guy that's been, taking over for Chapman, at least now at this point. And I know there's some people out there screaming, why wouldn't you bring in Chapman maybe to start the inning? I don't know. All I can tell you is that the performance by Gerrit Cole on Saturday was nothing short of awesome.
It was great, but it felt like it was totally wiped away with what happened on Sunday.
I'm not going to take anything away. They still won the series, and they still won the series at Seattle. When they went out there, they had won the last game against the Mets, and at least they came back winning series, and that's the important thing. They're 8 games out of first place now as we head into the All-Star break, but still, that performance by Gerrit Cole was exactly what the Yankees needed at the right time from their ace. I mean, I saw a Yankee team, at least this weekend, and forget about the bottom of the 9th inning last night.
So how could you?
Well, I'm just telling you, what I saw for 26 innings or whatever it was, they were actually competing, looked like the Yankees, had the performance of the year from a pitcher, Gerrit Cole, their ace, had the home run from Judge in that game, got the home run last night late from Gary Sanchez, and you're saying to yourself, man, this is the Yankee team that we expected to see all year long, meaning that it didn't look like they weren't competing. Sometimes I think this team goes through like the motions at times, and people get frustrated because when they lose bad, and it looks bad, and they don't score runs, and they strike out too much, and they don't have enough lefties in a line. Whatever the problem is for the individual Yankee fan, it was all wiped away literally for 26 innings this week. And it was 26 innings. What am I thinking about? It's more than that. Actually, no, it is 26 innings. They look great. They look like they were competing.
But isn't this the problem with the Yankees this year, where they're 3 games?
Had a meltdown.
Well, hold on. Where they're 3 games over 500, they've been scuffling the entire year. When they get some momentum going, there's always something to stop it immediately and dramatically. And I think this was a microcosm of the entire season, where it's like you finally are feeling like they're going to put it into the gear to get them moving in the Astros series, and Gerrit Cole's telling Aaron Boone, I'm finishing this mother bleeping game. Then you're up 7-2, and they're trolling Altuve with the jersey thing, and then at the end of it, you blow this game, a 5-run lead in the 9th inning, and Altuve's got his shirt off, and you're totally embarrassed. You got to sit on that for a week.
Yeah, I don't know what's worse. The closer, our closer for the Mets, having a meltdown, which he hasn't had pretty much all year long, and then, of course, what happened with Chad Green and Domingo Germán. Chad Green has been great. He has been the guy that has stepped in here over the last 2 weeks and has kind of settled things down, and he had a bad moment. That's really what it comes down to. It comes down to, the one guy on the mound.
But how many more of these bad moments as we get into the summer can you have when you're trying to build on something? I mean, this team is far out of the division. They're, 4.5 out of the wild card, but still there's teams ahead of them.
They won the 2 last series, the way I look at it. And you got to
And they blew a game they never should have lost.
And they're going to play the Red Sox when they come back from the All-Star break. I mean, I had a feeling that it was going to be sky is falling this morning, and I'm a little surprised I'm getting it from you.
It's not that sky is falling. It's just this is miserable.
I figured it was going to be the callers. Yeah, but I know.
This is miserable.
I know, but I'm just telling you, they took 2 out of 3, and nobody likes to lose a game like they did yesterday. But this is a team, at least, I'm telling you, from the trolling of Altuve to Gerrit Cole, telling, Aaron Boone, get the F off the mound. I'm taking the ball, and I'm finishing the game. All of that stuff is something that we haven't seen from the Yankees. Yankee fans have said that this team looks listless. And when you lose or you don't live up to the expectations, they still have a winning record. But when you lose and you don't live up to the expectations that everybody has for you, and you don't live up to your contract status and all of that kind of stuff, it looks like they're a boring baseball team.
All right, I'll give you that. Now,
how many times have we said that?
I'll give you that. It wasn't a boring series, and they did look like they had a fire lit under their ass.
I thought it was an awesome series.
But I will say though that's what makes it even more frustrating is that it's just another example of them where you're thinking that things are trending in the right direction, and then it comes slamming back to reality with some disaster at the end of this game.
Yeah, I thought it was an awesome baseball series. On the other hand, I thought the Mets were a disaster. You get to lose 2 games to that crappy Pirates team.
Yeah, they're terrible.
And to get up 5-0, and then to have your closer blow it late, and have some guy by the name of Rodolfo Castro who's
How about
never had
Nagowski?
Look
at Nagowski.
It's ridiculous.
I was laughing at this. I was laughing.
But to me,
it was hilarious to me.
To me, that was even worse. I mean, that is just awful.
Well, the Mets, though, they're in a terrible division. They're still in first place.
Baseball team,
yeah.
and you cannot lose. And I think, I was wondering what Luis Rojas was thinking about, in the 9th inning yesterday. Like, okay, your closer doesn't have it. He's throwing up meatballs and he's getting hit. I mean, do something.
Yeah, it's funny that it's like such a small landing place for when Edwin Diaz can succeed. It's funny. You can't bring him out for a 4-out save. You can't bring him in a non-save situation. You could only bring him in a 1-run game and against the bottom of the order or whatever. It's like always there's some sort of excuse with why Edwin Diaz can't be the closer that the Mets thought they were getting. And he was on his way to being that, and he still may be by the end of this year, but it was pretty frustrating. I don't know. I just think it's the standings to me that makes me feel worse about the Yankees than the Mets. And the Mets are in a terrible division. Acuna is out for the rest of the year for the Braves, so the division has gotten even weaker. I know that they needed to take 3 out of 4 from the Pirates, and they got the Pirates again coming up. And it was frustrating. It's a 5-run lead blown over the course of the game, and it's annoying. But when I look at the Yankees, I see the Yankees swimming upstream and having problems. And you think opportunity to sweep the Astros to head into the All-Star break, and then here we are again with with Altuve with his shirt off. It's like the worst-case scenario. And by the way, if Aroldis Chapman doesn't, so he's not going to use Aroldis Chapman, Aaron Boone that is, in a 1-run game close. He's not going to use Aroldis Chapman in a 5-run game. So the only time that we're going to see Aroldis Chapman, as Aaron Boone said after the game, was we got to find the right situations, is in a 12-1 game, because that was the last time we saw him. And all these other opportunities have come up. So when the Yankees are up by double-digit runs, that's when Aroldis Chapman is going to come into a game.
Give him some rest. He needs a rest. He's going to have a nice long rest now, get his arm back, and everything else will be fine. I don't know. I just thought it was a great baseball series. And to have happened what happened was unbelievable to watch it. There's no question about it. And as a nonpartisan Yankee fan, when I sit there and I see how they played this weekend, and I see the way that Gerrit Cole reacted the entire game, not just in the 9th inning, but the way that he was pitching the entire game. I mean, that's what your ace is supposed to do. That's the kind of performance that you're paying for.
What's a nonpartisan Yankee fan?
I cover them. You know what I'm saying? I try to be as.
But you said a nonpartisan Yankee fan.
Well, I guess you can't really be that, right? So I'm just trying to figure out a way to make it feel a little bit better this morning, because that last inning was just horrific. But everything leading up to that last inning, from the day that they beat the Mets and they left to go to Seattle, everything has been trending the right way, and they look like a good baseball team, and they look like they were competing. And they were led by their ace, who threw 125 pitches, and the last one was 99 miles an hour. And he basically told his manager, get the F off the mound. I'm not coming out of the game. So I actually look at it through a different prism, if you will. I just think that it was great baseball. They were competitive. They looked like they wore the name on their chest. And that's what every Yankee fan wants. And, of course, Chad Green just had his meltdown moment. I mean,
well, we'll see if it carries over somehow, some way. Now, do you think that Aaron Boone had any intention of taking Gerrit Cole out of that game, or he just went out there
I don't know.
to make sure what was going on? Because, why? You give me a look.
I mean, I thought the whole thing was, like, staged. Or something.
You did?
I felt like why are you going out there now?
Because he had threw a lot of pitches.
There was no way that Gerrit Cole was coming out of the game. What would have been interesting, had he not gotten the last out, what would have happened then. That would have really been the interesting thing, And I think we all could have said, okay, take him out of the game at that point. But
you think that was premeditated and staged?
The whole thing looks so stupid. I mean, he was not coming out of the game. He wasn't coming out of the game. You could tell he wasn't coming out of the game. And on top of that, he's not pitching in the All-Star game. Obviously, Aaron Boone made the call to Kevin Cash. Look, he's not pitching. He just threw 125 pitches. He's done. So if I'm a Yankee fan, I'm happy about that as well because I don't want him pitching after that performance on Saturday. So now he's got a whole week to rest, just like Jacob deGrom's got a whole week to rest. It's great, just like Chapman has a whole week to rest. They're all going to need it. And, the Yankees, to me, at least in these last two series, since their last win against the Mets, the 2 out of 3 in Seattle, the 2 out of 3 in Houston, now all of a sudden, you're looking at, 5 out of 7 wins. And you're saying to yourself, okay, we the team can win this way. I don't know. They just look different this weekend. And maybe it was just because who the opponent was and, the whole Altuve trolling things. And I'm going to rip my shirt off and all that other stuff. Maybe Altuve gets the last laugh.
Well, of course, maybe. Yeah, of course he did.
Yeah, but they still lost the series. And in baseball, it's about winning these series. That's the simplicity of it all. If you get the sweep, which they had on their fingertips yesterday, I know it's disappointing. But I'm just telling you, that team looked different this weekend. And I think it had a lot to do with who they were playing against. And I'm also thinking that when they come back from the All-Star break and they got the Red Sox, they better be thinking about those 6-game sweeps that they've had. Well, and come back and take the freaking series from the Red Sox. That's all there is to it. I'm not as overly down about the whole thing as I think a lot of people probably are this morning because of what happened. I understand.
Oh yeah, I think there's the micro and the macro view here, and I think that you're looking at the micro view of this series. But the problem is that the Yankees have dug themselves a hole in this division.
The last 2 series.
Yeah, well, okay, last 2 series, fine. But there's a different energy when they're playing the Astros. There's no doubt about that.
And now they're going to bring that same energy when they're playing the Red Sox.
Yeah, you hope. I don't know. I don't think that this team has it in them for a long period of time.
I do. I think what I saw from Gerrit Cole on Saturday was exactly what they needed. Exactly. That guy stepped up in a huge way against his former team. No spider tack, no nothing. And he busted his ass to take it all the way to 9 innings and throw 125 pitches. If that doesn't, inspire his teammates or whatever that ace is supposed to do, whatever Jacob deGrom is supposed to be for the Mets, Gerrit Cole is supposed to be for the Yankees. That's a performance that shows the other players that, this guy's willing to put it all on the line to throw 125 pitches in a regular season game. The only thing that would have made that game better had it been a Game 7 in Houston and they won 1-0.
Well, of course. I mean, come on. But it is still a regular season July baseball, but it was still good to see from him. Do you think that Aaron Boone in that situation likes the fact that he got cursed out heading back to the dugout? You think it's staged, though, so I guess.
I think the whole thing is stupid. I just, when he was coming out of I don't know how you felt. I don't know how anybody else feels, and I can't speak for the Yankee fan. All I could tell you is when he came out of that dugout, I was like, what is he doing? Why is he doing this?
Yeah, I thought.
But there's no reason to even do this. Just give him the ball and let him finish the game. He's in. He's all the way in, and he's
maybe
not
he did it to piss him off even more. Maybe that's what he did. Maybe it was like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to make him think that I'm taking him out of the game to piss him off even more to get the job done. Maybe it was genius what he did.
Well, I don't know. Take your analytics and stick it. That's all I can tell you. That's probably what he told him.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.